The control point game mode is one of the main game modes in TF2, and a staple of competitive play. This video will be an overview of the two major versions of control point in TF2, and the many side modes that have adapted the format. Before getting into the game modes, it's important to go over the traits of a control point map. Control point maps are made of a series of points, with each point being in its own separate stage, and these stages being separated by choke points. The multiple choke points allow for skirmishes between teams, as well as routes for flanking. And once one of these choke points have been breached, the central point acts as an area for large team fights. Take the map well, for example. The central point is contained in a large building, with 3 entrances for both teams. These entrances act as choke points, which limit access to the control point itself. Now that you have the basis for how these maps are designed, let's get into the two primary game modes of control point in TF2. These two modes are Assault, otherwise known as Attack and Defend, and Push, otherwise known as Control Points. In Assault, the attacking team has to capture control points in a set order. An example of this is Mountain Lab. The pros of Assault are that it has fewer stalemates, has more variety in stages, and gives players a stronger sense of progress. The cons are that it generally has less of the give and take that Push does, and Assault is much harder to balance. An example of this would be Dust Bowl. In Push, either team can capture active control points. Active control points are the 2 closest points that are opposite colors. If either team captures all of the points, then that team will win. Push maps have a symmetric design, meaning both sides of the map will be the same. A good example of a push map is Gorge. The pros of Push are the symmetry decreases player confusion. The major con is that matches tend to stalemate when teams are balanced, meaning that players are more likely to leave. This is a double-edged sword, however, because one of the reasons it's very common and competitive is because it has so much of the give and take, what other people would call stalemate, kind of gameplay. Now that I've gone over the common formats of Control Point, I'd like to go over some of the adaptations in TF2. Gravelpit, an adaptation of the Assault game mode, has 3 points. The attacking team must capture points A and B before they can capture point C. This means that the attacking and defending team have to choose if they want to put all of their resources onto defending just 1 point, or to split their team and attack both points separately. Standin, an adaptation of the Push game mode, has 3 points. All points are active at the same time, and the first team to capture all of the points win the round. This requires teams to be a lot more active about capturing points and reduces the amount of stalemates in the game mode. Steel combines both Assault and Push. It has one main point that is always open to capture. However, it has a slow capture time and a large gap around it, stopping less mobile classes from being able to get onto the point. In addition to the main point, there are a series of Assault-style capture points. These points, when captured, extend platforms, allowing subclasses to get to the main point. Steel's commonly considered a very confusing and not new player-friendly map. However, its design allows teams to choose where they're going to focus their resources in defense or attacking. Haarp is an Assault map that recreates the Team Fortress Classic version of the Assault game mode. In order to capture points, the intelligence must be carried by the attacking team to the control point. This makes capturing much easier because capturing is not time dependent. However, capturing also is dependent on if the player with the intelligence knows what they're doing, meaning that one bad player can stop an entire push if they take the intelligence far into the enemy lines. Carrier is an Assault style map with the unique mechanic that one of the attacking team members must become a giant, and only the giant can capture the control point. This can make fights on, especially defense, a lot less team-centric, with them boiling down to just shooting the bullet sponge moving towards the point. It's not a bad game mode, and I do enjoy it, but sometimes the game mode does become a little stale. This last one I do not think has ever actually officially been a map, but it is featured in Valve's developer forum. In Cyclic, 4 points are arranged in a circle, where as 1 point is captured, the next one is unlocked. This would make for a fast-paced race as teams rush forward to overwhelm each other. It seems like a really interesting concept, and I'm not sure why Valve hasn't developed it themselves. If you know of a map like this, feel free to leave its name down in the comments. I'd like to try it out. This video was a request from I'm Sandwich on my payload video. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please like the video. If you really liked the video, please subscribe. And if you have anything to add, leave a comment. I'll link the payload video. Warning, the audio is kinda bad. Thank you, goodbye.
paper!